glasses. Too close to me now. Dao, called Dao, is not Dao. Names can name no lasting name. Nameless, the origin of heaven and earth. Naming, the mother of 10,000 things. Empty of desire, perceive mystery. Filled with desire, perceive manifestations. These have the same source but different names. Call them both deep, deep and again deep. The gateway to all mystery.
That's a good one. So, my dear Noel, what do you make of this? This was the first thing that triggered you, right?
When I read it, I was like, right, the parallel to when people talk about this is agile or this is not agile, it's just missing the point. Like, it's not about, our work is not about doing or enforcing or agility. It's about a way of working. It's about understanding and joining in with what's happening and going on the path, following the way towards something different, better, maybe. But yeah, once people start naming things, that's not Scrum, or we do Kanban. That's the bit that triggers me, that resonates with this text.
Of course, everybody knows this diagram of yin and yang flowing into each other, and this is also what is represented in that idea. And look at the house decoration that you have been creating for us, with the black and white flowing into each other, and the O of our Dao is so open and vague, non-defined. This is actually about non-definition. It's about praxis. This ancient sounding Latin word. I love that one more than just practice. It's not practice after theory. It's a praxis. It's something that is really, really deep inside of you, and it's something we do. The Tao is a way we walk. It's sometimes people say agile is a mindset. I don't like the word mindset. It's not the mind, and it's not set. It's the body mind. It's everything, and it's in motion.
Yeah, absolutely. As soon as you put a name on it, you then have to provide a whole bunch of additional details. Like you said previously, as soon as we say we need or we want or we are agile or we need or we want or we doing Scrum, that then immediately requires definition, detail. And actually what this encourages us to do is not to name things and to deliberately avoid naming things, because that's where the pleasure sits. Absolutely. So I think we should encourage those that we work with not to talk about agile as the goal or as a goal or as a thing that can be named.
I think the imperatives of contemporary corporate life indicate that we need to name and label and pin down a status.
You can explore, and there are places where you don't know, and you can find stuff out, and there are also passageways, and it's wild. So.
Wild? Why is it so wild?
I don't know. It just is.
I mean, how many times have you seen, Francis, where you go into an organization and they have a spreadsheet that you can fill in that will tell you the how agile you are.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
So what? So okay, I'm whatever, 10 out of 10. And what does that give me? That's like I was in a workshop this week where one of the people in the room was referencing at least once each day, Agile says we need to do this, or Agile says we shouldn't do that. And that's not a helpful conversation in the work that we do.
Yeah.
I think whenever people around us start talking about what is or what isn't agile, then the most helpful thing we can do is probably lead the conversation away from that naming of that and actually talk much more in more general terms and seek to be more nameless.
The word desire is also in the first chapter there. So constantly with desire, we observe manifestations, and constantly without desire, we observe essence. When we name a concept, we feel or we perceive that we have grasped it and that we can control it and we can solve it. Yeah.
But no, just is.
Absolutely. Applying an experimental approach, we have a hypothesis that we need to test in order to know whether it's true or not. That we want to embrace and try and unpick the mystery of the world and that we work in, the systems that we work in, the flow that we ideally would like to achieve. The more, where am I going with this? The more strongly that you desire an outcome or an output, then and the more you believe that is true and that is the thing, I think the less interesting, the less enjoyable, the less pleasure I get from this kind of work. And it's much more operating in a space where absolutely we have a desire, but not for a specific thing. We have a desire to be better. We talk a lot about continuous improvement. We talk a lot about the journey. There's no end. People dislike the word transformation because it suggests you start here, you finish here. You're a cocoon, then you become a butterfly, or you're a caterpillar, then you're a butterfly. Whereas, the work we do is just not as linear. It doesn't have that end state. There is no end state.